What's up, YouTube? Dragon Fruit Paradise. We're gonna show a little pollen collection, and of course this Florida weather is not very nice to us. It's raining once again. It's a light rain, thank God, but we have our plants on wheels, so I'm able to move the plant around and get it out of the rain, at least the heavy rain. So I'm running out of pollen, and I need to collect the pollen from this guy for sure. This is one of our blood reds, and it's probably one of our best pollen providers. Gives us a lot of pollen out of this thing. Hopefully all we get is just pollen in the cup with no water added to it. But that's difficult here right now, so I'm going to try my best. So it's going to be a little two-part video. We're first going to collect, trying not to shake the flower too bad, because then I'm going to get water droplets in the pollen, and too much water in your pollen is going to end up ruining your pollen. So you got to try to get that pollen nice and dry, collected, covered, and dry it out overnight. Put it in the refrigerator. So it looks like we're getting a good amount from this guy, as we normally do, and this is a very strong pollen from this red. It produces a lot, and it's pretty good for just about every dragon fruit I have. So I have about 7 varieties right now, and this one definitely is a great pollinator. And you can tell that's one flower. It's a good amount of pollen on one flower, so I managed to keep it pretty dry. Alright, we're going to pause the video here, and we'll be back to pollinate this flower with some refrigerated pollen I've kept from another breed. Alright, so this is what we do. We collect that pollen. It's a little wet, so I'm going to leave a few desiccant bags in a container with them overnight. I'm just going to lightly cover it. That way it dries out, and I will put them in basically these little cylinders here that I have, and once it's dried out enough, I can leave a couple desiccant bags in there with it, and then I can refrigerate it. So I'm going to pull out one of these cylinders I have in the refrigerator with another breeds of pollen that I have. I think it's a cotton candy and a mystic mix, and we're going to pollinate that flower. Alright, hold on. Alright, well, this is the saved pollen I had that I took out of a tube, so it's pretty dry, and we're going to use this to go outside and pollinate our flower. And I'm going to probably have to bag the flower because it looks like it's going to pick up on the rain. So let's go outside and pollinate. Alright, so back outside. You can see your stencil is not really open, so what I tend to do is the end of a paintbrush usually works pretty well. It's usually delicate. I just try to get that stigma a little open so it'll accept the pollen I'm going to put on there. And being that it's so wet, we will bag it tonight. That way whatever pollen I get on there should be okay. And I usually just collect a little of the leftover pollen of its own, and you know, just get it on there. This is my saved pollen from my different breeds, cotton candy, my mystic. So we're going to put a generous amount on there because I pulled out a little too much, but no such thing if you're pollinating. You can see if you hit the end of the brush, it kind of causes like a snowing effect of the pollen, and that allows it to get kind of all over the stencil, or the stigma rather. And I'm going to use all of it since I pulled it out, and this is the only flower I got tonight. So I usually don't waste this much, but in this case, better more than not enough. So we're going to use all of it. If you refrigerate your pollen well enough, you should have some good luck. It's only good for about 30 to 40 days. It'd probably be pushing it. 30 days is probably the limit on your pollen in the refrigerator. Some guys, they actually freeze it. I've had no luck freezing it at all. So what we're just done is use the refrigeration process and refrigerate that pollen that we've saved, and that's what we're going to get on there. I only have a little left in the jar, so like I said, I'm going to use all of it. It looks pretty well coated. So now that the end of the flower is opened up and pollinated, we're gonna wrap it with a good old plastic bag, because we're expecting more rain, and if you get rain on your flower, you might as well not even bother, because it's just gonna wash away all the pollen. So that's all I do, is I just take a plastic bag, put it over the flower, and you can tie the ends of it up, and that way it can rain, and who cares, and then you still get your fruit. So this of course is tricky because there's thorns on everything and everything wants to be caught. So I just take it nicely and tie up the ends. Now that flower will finish opening up inside the bag, and that's fine. But at least now, well, it's raining a little bit more, but we're under the umbrella. So that's the only thing I can do to keep our flowers dry after you pollinate them, and hopefully we'll get our fruit out of it. Alright guys, good luck with your gardens. Have fun. This is a nighttime thing. Most people are drinking at the bar. Here I am pollinating a flower. Go figure. Alright, till the next time. Dragon Fruit Paradise out.